Let's settle in. Let's together take a big inhale and a long exhale with the sound. And drop in, fully relax. Today, I would like to explore together the topic that is timeless, the game of separation. Separation that we all feel so strongly. Separation that brings so much suffering. So much drama revolves around that, and our desire to reach unity, wholeness. The game of separation is really the narrative of love. Look at a baby separated from mother to reunite with her and rejoice. Look at lovers that are separated and then find each other again. Make peace about all the arguments they ever had. Make love like mad people after all those fights. Separation and reuniting. Separation and coming back into wholeness, unity. Same within ourselves. One moment we feel whole and united, and then we suddenly break into pieces and feel separate. But the only way we know that we are separate is because we remember the unity we once experienced. And then we seek it desperately. And we experience it again. We find it for a moment. We dive into abyss of exploration of this wholeness in all its diversities, with all its multidimensional expressions, multifaceted. And how else would we experience separation if our ego would not come up with some clever strategies? And ego is nothing more than construct of the mind that forms our identity, that separates us seemingly from the world, that consciousness has dreamt of, along with the ego that is dreamt by the same consciousness. And there are many strategies that ego employs to play this game of separation, and then it exhausts itself, and in the moment it falls away for a moment, unity is remembered. It's not found, it's not earned, it's not built, it's just remembered. Re-established again through memories of its only constant state. Unity is the only constant, because it's unity of everything. Nothing is excluded from the whole. Elements of it are changing, ever changing, transient. The whole is the constant. Everything arises in the consciousness. Nothing is separate from consciousness. It sees nothing but itself. It knows nothing but itself. It experiences nothing until the dream creates many life forms, seemingly, that carry their own identifications with particular characters, and their own ways how they act in this world that is dreamt by the self. Many actors on the stage of life. So consciousness has something to play with, and there is illusion of changing forms that never do change fundamentally, at its essence, at the fabric of its creation. Why is separation so painful to a person? This separation created by the mind is as if a baby taken from the mother. It's painful. It's as if we are taken away from home into nowhere land. All seemingly so, the contrast is experienced. The wholeness represents contentment, joy, peace, and separation represents polarity, disturbance, discomfort, longing. And ego has many strategies to play this game. It deflates itself, it inflates itself in relating to another. You can probably notice how sometimes you come up with all the insecurities. You minimize yourself in comparison to others, so you feel separate. You feel your not enoughness in comparison, so you feel separate. Or, in another moment, ego turns on itself, turns the table, and now it inflates. Again, just another form, another strategy to experience separation from another. It feels no longer inferior, now it feels superior. It feels better than, more knowledgeable than, more beautiful than the other, kinder than the other, more generous than the other, and so on and so on. And so we play out this complex of superiority and inferiority. One after another, every person has both in different proportions. Sometimes we separate from another by feeling more than him or her, better, and sometimes we feel less than her or him. Inflate, deflate, and through that we separate. But we cannot tell to another person the story as it is. We cannot say, right now my ego will inflate because I want to separate from you. This is my strategy. Instead, it will start yelling at you that you have not done that well, that you didn't accomplish that you are not trustworthy, that you are not reliable, that and another, and many ways to minimize another person to feel superior, or to think about it, even if not act on it. So it can be acted out superiority, or just simply a thought process that separates, that creates the gap, absence of relating. And if we play our strategy through inferiority, we apologize all the time for something. Doesn't matter what it is, the mind always finds something to apologize for, or something to blame for, either or, depending what game you're playing here. Where in the spectrum you find your comfort zone from strategy standpoint. So we never argue about things that argument contextually points to. We argue because it's our strategy to separate. By complaining and blaming, which is inflation, or explaining, apologizing, which is deflation of the ego. So we have strategies and contextually many tactics. And for as long as we don't see the game for what it is, we will focus on those tactical aspects. We will start arguing about the context and content. We will argue about unwashed dishes, about money spent unwisely, about someone being late, about someone speaking out of line. The ego will find something to argue about, to blame for. But it's never about that. It's just the game acts itself out. So we always have a choice to remember that. And before saying something that can be hurtful and untrue ultimately. Whether you inflate yourself or deflate yourself, it's untrue. It's not who you are, neither of it is who you are, who I am. So it's untrue, it's distortion of reality. But if we remember why it's happening, then there is always opportunity to come back to unity, if that's the choice. Because the very attempt to act on separation is invitation in next moment come back to unity. So we can just skip the separation and we can watch the pendulum swing. We just play with amplitude. We tune it down a notch. So dramatic entrances and exits stop being so dramatic. Life has less drama, less pain in it, less suffering, less separation, more sense of wholeness, peace, contentment, ultimately more love. Because love is unifying. Unity is loving. If we drop in right now and observe sensations in the body, the state of the mind, what feels separate right now? Who feels separate? What aspect of you feels separate? How do you know this separation? Through sensations. What do you feel in your body? Do you want to stay there for a bit and enjoy separation? Or you want to come back into unity, maybe? Either or are okay. It's just movement in consciousness. Ignorance and truth. Consciousness at its core without movement, and consciousness manifested in individualized consciousness of you, which allows it to experience itself through you, through me, through multitude of life forms. How do you know that you are separate right now? What if you are not? What if you're whole and free right now? How are you sensing it in your body? How would it feel in your body if you would know that you are free always? What would change? What would change if you knew that you're never away from home? Just little game you're playing, that's all. You're always there, standing on the same ground of wisdom, knowledge, remembering who you are, what you're made of, and essentially the game that you agreed to play because you created it. That which you're made of created it. What would end the separation for you forever? What do you need to see, to understand, or rather realize? What is hidden from you right now? Behind what illusions are you hiding that you clinch for separation? And the ego acts out various strategies to feel separate, making you forget your true nature, your home. The fabric of life is love. We call it love. We can give it many other names. No word anyways will ever describe it. It's this acknowledgement of beauty, constant beauty, unconditional beauty, despite any forms that our life might take at any moment, despite any unfortunate circumstances, seemingly painful events. The love of that universal heartbeat is there. Just this constant contraction and expansion, exactly as if it's heart beating. Just see it. Listen your own heartbeat and just feel the whole universe is in this beat with you. Multitude of universes. Eternal game of uniting, separating, reuniting, separating again to unite again at the end of it all. How would we relate to another if we understand this game very well and master this game? What would it take? Would it take time? What if not? What if everything can collapse in instant? Separation can collapse in unity in instant of realization that the game can be over anytime we become aware of it. And so we are home again. But we tend to not want to stay in unity for too long, have you noticed? Because you can't experience life intensely when you are not separate from anything. If you're truly not separate, you can't experience elements. You can only feel the unity, the intense loving field that unity consists of. But you can't enjoy the butterfly, the bees that pollinate flowers, the leaf that is fallen because it's fall, the sound of the waterfall. There must be you who is observing all that and taking it in through your senses, by seeing, by hearing, by touching, by smelling. So there must be contrast, and it's beautiful, it's stunning. We separate so we can experience, and then we come back into unity so we can rest. There is no point fighting it. We created this. We created this game. We play this game. We do it well. Can we enjoy it? Can we fight it less, play it better? Can we play it by playing with it? And know that we're always home. We step out just for a moment to play. So lovers can find each other and fall in love and mingle for a while, make love, make noise, fight, make love again. Because when unity is complete and absolute, no lovers needed. No making love is possible. Impossible. There's nobody to make love, and nobody to make love to. It's one unified field with no separate elements, no separate consciousnesses, no separate characters and attitudes and colors. So separation is beautiful, and pain of separation is beautiful too, because it's a contrast. It's one of the contrasts. So when we condemn the separation, it's just an error of perception. We assume that we want one polarity without another. But we don't even know what unity would look like if separation would not reveal it in a contrast. So it's a beautiful game. We just need to learn to play it better, more consciously, and with more acceptance of both polarities, and allow the pendulum do its job, swing. And then it's like one breath of eternity. On inhale, we immerse in drama of separation. Somewhere at the peak, it's so dramatic. And then we exhale into relaxation and reunite with sense of home. And then we take another breath and another wave occurs. Separation and unity. So I could wish you unity forever, but I don't, because separation is equally beautiful to experience once in a while. So in contrast, we remember how beautiful it is to feel home when we step away from home for a moment. So may today you remember you are home, you always have been home, because there is nothing but home, even if the consciousness that you are draw the windows and the doors through which you can exit for a moment to play. It's all still home. One big backyard outside, that's it. The door back is never closed. The windows is to look back into when you forgot. Beautiful. Life is so beautiful. When we stop fighting, it's so hard. But even that is beautiful too. Can we see that? May we see that always. With that, I wish you relaxation, wonderful meditation, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.